Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hopefully, y'all are doing okay. We have Olivia here, we have Christian here, we have Samandar here, and 5 other people. But we'll just wait once again. 5 minutes. Let anyone come in. If you guys want to chat, chill, you do that. Get yourselves ready. Today we're working on solving by elimination. Okay, solving by elimination. We're doing part 2. Today's lesson might be a little bit shorter than on Tuesday, so we might be ending a little bit earlier today, mainly because we're just kind of reviewing what we've done already, and then I think early next week we'll review substitution and elimination, and then application problems using those, and so it's important for us to go over all of that. Good morning, Tristan. Good morning, Antoinette. Good morning, Angela. So for those of you here, I'll show you the document that you should have open in front of you right now. So here we are. So this is the sheet that you should have open. Okay. So if you don't have this yet, please print this out and then we'll get this ready and good to go. Good morning, Angelo. All right. Well, for now, let's talk about let's talk about the quiz yesterday. So the quiz yesterday, we kind of went over everything that was on it. We talked about graphing, solving by graphing. We talked about solving by substitution. We talked about solving by elimination, and there was a word problem. And of course, we'll go through some more word problems later. Okay. So that one, I didn't put as many marks on the word problem. That was only 2 marks compared to substitution and elimination, which was 4. But when I look through it, right? When I look through this assignment, there's a lot of people that didn't do the quiz yesterday. So if you still didn't hand in the quiz, you should go do that. Right? There's a lot of people here who did not hand in the quiz. And for those that are missing the quiz, right? Make sure you complete it all and click send. If you did not send it, I didn't get the marks. Right? So make sure you go to that Google Forms and you double check whether or not you sent it. because for some people that I would have expected to do yesterday, it says it's missing. Okay, so I want you to go double check your quiz, right, and see whether or not you actually sent it in or not, or else there's some issues that have arisen where I don't have proper responses. So for example, I have 33 total responses, right? But I don't think all of them went through. I'll give an example. So some of these just did not go through. Like, for example, Tristan's, I know he finished it, but it didn't go through into Google Classroom. So if you could just double check the form. Oh, actually, no, sorry. There are marks that are coming in. Okay, never mind. We're good. So there are marks that are coming in. So there are still people who are missing doing the quiz. If you haven't done it, go do it now. Okay? Now, second announcement. For those people that were like, oh shoot, I didn't do that good on the quiz. Okay? You're going to get an opportunity today to do some extra work for homework that will be due tomorrow afternoon, right? It's going to be due tomorrow, and you can hand that in for homework check, and then I will increase your mark by a little bit. Okay? So please keep that in mind. So that'll be an opportunity to increase your mark by a little bit. Okay? So that being said, let's get started. We have 15 people watching, which means some people have not tuned in just yet. So we'll leave it like that. Okay. Should have done it yesterday, Samandar. Should have done it yesterday. Go do it now if you haven't already. Or go do it after this lesson. Okay? So, solving by elimination. So with elimination, it was different from substitution because we're not kind of working with just like substituting or putting in one equation into the other. We were completely get rid of a variable. Yes, you can do the homework. That's fine. If you want to do it, you can do it. Okay. So, to solve the following linear systems by elimination, identify if you would use the addition or subtraction method and which variable you would eliminate first. Note, you do not have to find the solution to the system yet. Okay? So for 1a, 5x minus 4y equals negative 7, 5x plus 3y equals 14. I need to eliminate x or y first in this case. So looking at these two equations, do I get rid of x or do I get rid of y? Okay, x or y. Exactly. You would get rid of x first. And so you would get rid of x, right? Because the numbers, the coefficient number is matching. They're both 5. Okay? So x is what we're going to get rid of first. Okay? So x is going to get rid of first. And what method would we use? Should we use addition or subtraction? And in our case, this would be subtraction. Okay? So that would be subtraction. For part B, looking here, which variable would I eliminate first? This one would be y. And we would get rid of y first because the coefficient is 1. Okay? So as long as the number matches, the sign doesn't have to match. As long as the number matches, we can get rid of it. And what method would we use? This one we would use addition. Okay? So this would be addition. For part C, you have these two here. To eliminate the variable first, I would use this. So looking here, for part C, which variable do I get rid of first? Good. I'm seeing the right answer. It would be x, right? Even though the x's are not in the correct, like it's not lined up, the numbers are the same for that x variable. So we would get rid of x first. Now, of course, when we solve it, we're going to rearrange it to get the proper order. So we'll do that. So that's fine. We'll do that later. And here, I would use addition or subtraction. Good. Samantha wrote it down. It would be addition. Okay? Because the signs are different. Very good. Olivia wrote it. Antoinette, Christian, very good. And so for the last one here, we would also get rid of x first. Okay? And we would use subtraction. Right? So just reviewing what we've learned. This is kind of what we've already done on Tuesday. When we introduced elimination, we went over all these concepts of when do we use addition, when do we use subtraction. We have the notes, but let's kind of write it down again to remind ourselves. So when do we use addition, when do we use subtraction? We use addition when the signs are different, and we use subtraction when the signs are the same. Okay? So once again, today's class is going to be fairly short. We're only going to go over around 3 examples today. Okay? Just around 3 examples. One I'll do in a very big spot. I'll do one question here at the bottom, and then we'll do our second sheet. Okay? So, addition, we use addition when the signs are different, and we use subtraction when the signs are the same. So, for number 3, solve each of the linear systems in question 1 using the elimination method. Don't forget to check your solution in each equation. All right, so let's do that. So we have to solve each of the linear systems, but we're only going to solve one. So let's do number 1a at the top. And that one is 5x minus 4y equals negative 7, and 5x plus 3y equals 14. Okay, so this is question 1a. And with this, when we look up at the top, we said for question 1a, we're going to get rid of x first, and we're going to use subtraction. So let's go down to the bottom again, and we're going to use subtraction as our first step. So when we subtract, 5 minus 5 is going to give us 0, which is exactly what we want. Negative 4 minus 3 is going to give me negative 7y. Negative 7 minus 14 gives me negative 21. Okay, so when we get rid of the 0x, because we don't need to write that anymore, we're going to get negative 7y equals negative 21. Okay, so we have negative 7y equals negative 21. So now we can continue solving this. Right? We've gotten rid of x. X is gone. We can ignore it. We can now solve for y. And it's a one-step equation. We divide by negative 7. And we're going to get y is equal to 3. Okay? So we get y is equal to 3. Which is perfect. Right? A good, nice whole number. Exactly what we want. I'll usually not give fractions as much. Usually I give fractions for academic classes. Right? But for our applied class, I will refrain from using fractions. So, with the y equals 3, we're going to bring it up here. So we're going to then sub y equals 3 into, I forgot to write down that this is equation 1 and 2. That's my fault. So this is equation 1 and 2. So we'll sub it into, let's say, equation. Let's do it into equation 2. Okay, let's plug it into this one here, because we're working with positive numbers. We like positive numbers. So 5x plus 3, and it's supposed to be y, but I'm going to replace it with 3. And that equals to 14. And so I'm going to get 5x plus 9 equals 14. Now you should be able to solve for x, right? So I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Solve for x here. Okay, so 3 minutes on the clock. You can get started. Go. Three minutes on the clock. Solve for x and then tell me the point of intersection. You don't have to check your work for this one because we're kind of not, we don't have enough space. Just give me x and then give me what the point of intersection is. So we have some people writing their answers down. For those, right, don't just copy their answer. Make sure you double check what the answer is for you and see if you got the same. All right, so we have answers coming in. Just another minute for those still solving. Twenty seconds. And time's up. All right. So when we solve this, first step is to move the 9 to the other side. That's going to give us minus 9 because we're going to take the plus 9. We're going to move it to the right side. That gives us minus 9. Okay. 5x is equal to 14 minus 9, which is 5. And then we divide by 5 on both sides. That's going to give us x equals 1. Good to have you join us, Amir. So we have the POI is equal to 1, 3. And there's our final answer, which most people got in the chat, which is great. Okay? So that's our elimination. So let's go over 2 more examples, and then that's our class. All right? So let's go over 2 more examples, and then we'll call it. So this is the sheet that you should also have here. Okay? This is the sheet that you should have. Yes, there is an answer key to this sheet. Okay, there is an answer key to this one. All right. So of course you can go and check your answers, but let's not try to do that. Let's actually try to solve this ourselves. So for question A here, you'll notice that x and y is already lined up. If I give it to you lined up, you can actually just draw the line and say, okay, I'm just going to use this. And you look, okay, x does not have the same coefficient. I'm not going to get rid of that one. Y does. Both of them are 1s, and they're both the same sign, which means if they're the same sign, we're going to be using subtraction. Okay? So when we subtract, 2 minus 1 gives me 1 with just x. Y minus y gives me 0y. And then 7 minus 5 will give me 2. In other words, we're going to just get x equals 2. Oh, wow. So simple. Amazing. So we have x equals 2, and we can say, oh, wait, I'm going to use that. I'm going to substitute that. Okay? So we have equation 1 and equation 2 up here. Okay? So we have equation 1, equation 2. I'm going to sub x equals 2 into equation 2 because that's the easier one. Okay? So I'm going to plug it in. So we have equation 2 as x plus y equals 5. I'm going to replace x with 2. That gives me 2 plus y equals 5. And I can move the 2 to the other side. It's going to give me minus 2. And I get my final answer of y equals 3. Now, we have enough space to check our work, so let's do that. Okay? So we'll do our checking work. And yes, when you resolve, if you didn't get a good mark on the quiz and you're like, I want to increase my mark, when you show your work, you must check your work. You have to check your work, and you have to show me that you know that it's correct. So using equation 1, that's 2x plus y equals 7. X is 2, y is 3. I'm going to circle them so you can see it a little better. I'm going to replace the x with 2 and y with 3. And so 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. 7 equals 7, so left side equals right side. So there's a check there. Okay. The second one here, we have x plus y equals 5. X is 2, y is 3, and so 5 equals 5. Left side equals right side. So you have to be able to show that this works. Okay? That you've checked both answers. And then you can write out your final point of intersection is 2, 3. Okay? So there you have it. Point of intersection is 2, 3. Alright, sorry, I'm just going to keep that up there. So let's go through one more example, and then we will end it for today. Okay, one more example. If you would like me to go over more elimination and substitution equations, please come to the office hours tomorrow at 11 a.m. and I will do more questions there. Okay? I'm trying not to flood you with information at once. We're going to be reviewing on Monday next week anyways. So tomorrow is like, I really didn't understand it. Can you go over it slowly? I will absolutely do that. But you can also wait for Monday if you'd like as well. Okay? So let's go to question C. Question C. We're going to rearrange first so the x's and y's line up. Okay? So look at here. We have equation 1 and equation 2. You'll notice that x and y are not lined up. Okay? But you'll see here 2x minus 5y equals 1. Oh, that's exactly what we want. We like having the x and y on the left. And so which one is in the wrong place? Well, we have the minus 3x here. That's in the wrong place. That should be on the left. And that should be in front because we have the 2x in front. So when we move the minus 3x to the other side, minus becomes plus. So this is what I'm going to write here. I'm going to write 3x, positive 3x. Then I need to write the 5y because it's still there. Okay? But it's not minus 5y. That's already positive. So I'm going to write positive 5y. Then equals 14. Okay? So 3x plus 5y equals 14. All right? Then we have 2x minus 5y equals 1. We're going to write that down because that should not change. And there we have our rearranged equations that we can solve for. Okay? So once again, going over that step. The minus 3x is on the wrong side. We want to line it up. So we move it to the left so that we can line it up with the 2x in the second equation. Now, what do I get rid of? X or y? I am getting rid of x. Sorry, not x. Wow, I said that so confidently when it was wrong. I'm getting rid of y. Y is what we're getting rid of because the coefficient is the same. The number is 5. Since they match, we're getting rid of y. And the signs are different. Since the signs are different, we're going to add the two equations together. So we are adding the two equations together to get rid of y. So a lot of people are probably wondering, do I have to write 0y? No, you do not. What you can do instead, another way you can do it is that you're saying, I'm adding this, so I'm going to just get rid of it, so I don't need to write it down. So you can go right away. 3 plus 2 is 5x. 5y plus negative 5y is 0, so I'm going to ignore it. And then 14 plus 1 equals 15. And there we have our already simplified step. So instead of writing 0y, because that could get confusing, we can just say, I'm getting rid of it. It's gone. I don't need to write it anymore. Okay? So then we have 5x equals 15. So getting rid of the 5, we divide by 5. And so x equals 3. And there we have it. So x equals 3. And so now we can sub x equals 3 into one of the equations above. And so which one should I pick? Let's pick this one. Let's pick this one. Let's pick number 1 here. Okay? Let's sub it into equation 1. Does it matter which one? Absolutely not. If you want to sub it into equation 2, you do that. Remember, you're always checking your work in the end anyways. So 5y equals negative 3x plus 14. 5y equals negative 3 bracket 3 plus 14. And that's going to give me negative 9 plus 14. I'm running out of space. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And so we get 5y is equal to 5. Okay? So since I'm running out of space, I'm just going to write the answer for y. It's going to be y. You should get y equals 1 as your answer there. Okay? So I'm subbing my answer of x equals 3, and I'm plugging it into equation 1, replacing my x with what I said it was, and I'm solving for y, and I get y equals 1. So now we check our work. So that's our first half of our solving. So to check our work here, so checking my work, I'm going to use my first equation. And we said x is 3 and y is 1. So I'm going to plug it in. We get 5 times 1 equals negative 3 times 3 plus 14. That equals 5 equals negative 9 plus 14. 5 equals 5. And so left side equals right side. Right? Negative 9 plus 14 is 5. 5 equals 5. Left side equals right side. And there's a check there. For the second equation, we have 2x minus 5y equals 1. And so we plug it in. 2 times 3 minus 5 times 1 equals 1. And so 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5 equals 1. 6 minus 5 is 1. 1 equals 1. Left side equals right side. And there's a check there. And so we can say our POI is definitely 3, 1. And there's our final answer. And I see Angela wrote the answer in the chat, so that's very good. Okay. So there's our solution for question C. Okay. So your homework, just regular homework, is to complete the rest of this page here. This one has answers to it already, right? So when we have answers to it, you can check your work. You're solving for question B. You're solving for question D. Okay? But for doing better on the quiz, the way you can do better on the quiz, this page here, we only took up question A. You must solve question B and question D. And I'll write that in Google Classroom as an announcement. Okay? And it will be due by the end of tomorrow. Tomorrow by 5 p.m. you should be handing this in if you want me to double check and update your mark. Okay? So once again, question B and question D, full solution with checking your work. Okay? So once again, I'll be typing that out. Let me write that instructions on the screen here for you. So let's do that here. So we have our trusty little notepad that I'll bring up and I'll show you the screen here. Okay. Let's change the properties of this. Where's my notepad? There it is. Perfect. Okay. So we have my notepad here. Let's kind of go over what exactly I'm going to write here. Make it a little bigger so you see. So you must complete question 1B and 1D on the, I should do this on a, okay, so you must complete question 1B and 1D. Make sure you show all your work and check your solution for each question. Okay? So this is what I want you to do. You need to complete 1B and 1D on this page. Make sure you show all your work and check your solution for each question. Only then will I update your quiz mark. Anyone can do this quiz. Anyone can do this extra work. But you cannot go over 100% on the quiz. Okay? So, if you feel like you can do a little better on the quiz and you're like, oh, I feel like I want to update my mark, please do this. Okay? So, that's it for class today. Once again, if you want some extra help and you're like, I really didn't understand elimination, I really didn't understand substitution, or I really did bad on the quiz, we can do the office hours tomorrow. Or maybe we can even take up the quiz tomorrow if that's what people want. Okay? So, I'm going to be posting these instructions on Google Classroom right after the end of this live stream. Okay? So please go and do this if you want to update your quiz mark. Other than that, please do the homework and be ready to go over some more elimination and substitution questions next Monday. Otherwise, have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow for office hours. Peace out and take care.